This is a global news update on top Accolade News. From the corridors of power in Washington and Seoul to the streets of Mauritius, the arenas of London and the high-speed roads of France, tonight's headlines show just how much can change in a single day. Politics, diplomacy, finance, culture and sport, all of it shaping our world and our lives. Let's get straight into the headlines. Fed Governor Lisa Cook sues Trump. South Korea former First Lady indicted. Mauritius Prime Minister dismisses Central Bank Deputy Governor. UK, France and Germany move to restore UN sanctions on Iran over nuclear program. We'll start in the United States, where history is being made in the halls of finance as Fed Governor Lisa Cook sues Trump. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook has filed a lawsuit to stop President Donald Trump from firing her over unproven mortgage fraud allegations, marking the first attempt in the Fed's 112-year history to remove a sitting governor. Trump publicly announced the dismissal on Truth Social, but Cook has not been charged with any crime. A legal expert says due process is required for such action. The case raises questions about presidential authority versus the Fed's independence, with critics warning that politicizing appointment could destabilize U.S. economic policy. In a high-stakes clash of law and power, the courtroom may soon decide whether the Fed remains a sanctuary from political whims. From Washington to Seoul, political turbulence is spreading on a very different stage, with South Korea's former First Lady indicted. Kim Keon-hee, wife of House former President Yoon Suk-yeol, has been indicted on bribery, stock fraud and other charges, becoming the first former South Korean First Lady to face legal action, prosecutors said on Friday. Both are in jail, with Yoon on trial for insurrection, while Kim faces separate corruption investigations. The indictment underscores a sweeping probe into the Yoon administration, showing that even the highest office cannot shield one from justice. And while scandal rolls in South Korea, concerns about leadership are surfacing halfway across the Indian Ocean, as Mauritius Prime Minister dismisses Central Bank Deputy Governor. Mauritius Prime Minister Ramgoolam has dismissed Gerard Sanspor, the central bank's second deputy governor, following reports of a stand-up between Sanspor and Governor Rama that Ramgoolam described as unacceptable. The move comes amid growing concerns over governance at the Bank of Mauritius, with Sanspor announcing plans to hold a press conference later on Friday. Both the central bank and the Prime Minister's office declined to comment on the matter. The dismissal underscores how internal discord at key financial institutions can ripple beyond boardrooms, reminding that even central bankers are not immune to political scrutiny. From national finance to global diplomacy, tensions are escalating on the nuclear front, where UK, France and Germany move to restore UN sanctions on Iran over nuclear program. The UK, France and Germany have triggered the UN snapback to restore sanctions on Iran, citing non-compliance and near-military-grade uranium stockpiles. Iran condemned the move as illegal but signaled willingness to negotiate. The UN Security Council has 30 days to decide, with the US supporting Europe and offering direct engagement. The snapback highlights a fragile diplomatic balance as tensions rise over Iran's nuclear program. You're watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Just stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. Meanwhile, on the Korean Peninsula, diplomacy has hit a stubborn roadblock. North Korea remains silent as Seoul and Washington push for talks. North Korea has shown no willingness to engage in diplomacy with South Korea or the United States, National Security Advisor Rim Song-lang said on Friday, following recent overtures from President Lee Jae-myung and President Donald Trump. Pyongyang is reportedly preparing to visit China to attend a military parade, raising speculation about a potential summit with Chinese and Russian leaders. We caution against high expectation for dialogue, noting Kim Jong-un's passive and negative attitude towards peace initiatives, while highlighting ongoing South Korea-US cooperation in shipbuilding and nuclear energy. As the standoff continues, North Korea's silence underscores that in the high-stakes game of diplomacy, patience may be the only weapon that matters. From standoffs in Asia to a show of support for one of its smallest democracies, as U.S. Senator Roger Wicker reaffirmed support for Taiwan's freedom. U.S. Senator Roger Wicker, chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, met with Taiwan President Lai Ching-te on Friday, affirming Congress's commitment to Taiwan's right to remain free and preserve self-determination. Wicker, visiting with Senator Deb Fischer, emphasized strengthening U.S.-Taiwan security cooperation, including weapons development ahead of Senate's upcoming National Defense Authorization Act discussions. Beijing condemned the meeting, maintaining its opposition to official U.S.-Taiwan exchanges, while Lai reiterated Taiwan's willingness to negotiate with China, but stressed that its future is determined by its people. As the shadow of Chinese military pressure looms, Wicker's visit signals that in the fight for democracy, the world's eyes are increasingly fixed on Taiwan's narrow strait. Across the Atlantic, a different kind of spotlight shines, this time on entertainment, as Ariana Grande announces first tour in 7 years. Ariana Grande will embark on her first tour in 7 years next summer, kicking off in Oakland, California on the 6th of June 2026 and concluding with 5 nights at London's O2 Arena in August, marking her only scheduled shows outside North America. Named the Eternal Sunshine Tour after her latest album release in March 2024, the tour comes after Grande focused on acting, earning an Oscar nomination for Wicked and preparing for its sequel, Wicked for Good. Stops will also include Los Angeles, Brooklyn, Austin, Sunshine, Atlanta, Boston, Montreal, and Chicago. For fans, this tour is a reminder that no matter how far Hollywood takes her, music remains Grande's lifeline. Her voice returning to the stage is both a promise and a celebration. And for the stage to the cycling road, resilience takes a very different turn. Chris Froome undergoes successful surgery after serious training crash in France. 4-time Tour de France champion Chris Froome has successfully undergone surgery following a severe training accident in France that left him with fractured vertebrae, collapsed lung, and 5 broken ribs. Airlifted to a hospital after the Wednesday crash, Froome is now recovering under medical supervision, though the injuries will end his 2025 season and could mark the close of one of cycling's most decorated Grand Tour careers. With 7 Grand Tour victories in his name, Froome's resilience has long defined his legacy, but the crash serves as a stark reminder that even champions can face the fragility of life on 2 wheels. Tonight, from political showdowns and global standoffs to the return of a pop icon and endurance of a cycling legend, we've seen that power, performance, and perseverance all demand courage and sometimes sacrifice. In a world moving faster than ever, it's the human stories behind the headlines that remind us what really matters. From here in the newsroom, I am Ojarumi Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day and keep watching the global news updates on Accolade News.